Many members have expressed support for borrowing for long-term infrastructure as part of our fiscal strategy. These investments will benefit and generate value over generations, but the upfront costs are hefty. Borrowing is a fair and efficient approach to spread out the lumpy costs to ensure that we better match the timing of the benefits with the timing of spending. If we do not, I will have to raise taxes significantly to fund these major expenditures. Ms. Liang Eng-hua also asked if we could consider one-off special purpose borrowing for the economic investments under our Emerging Stronger strategies to help Singapore to emerge stronger. I thank Mr. Liang for his suggestion. As I've explained earlier, borrowing does not give us revenue. Instead, if the economic and fiscal outlook turn out worse than expected, and we have to draw on past reserves for economic investments, borrowing would allow us to keep our reserves invested long-term and earn good returns. Borrowing from the market also means that we have to have the discipline to repay amounts used for these economic investments. The government will study Mr. Liang's suggestion of a one-off special purpose borrowing to help us emerge stronger from this long drawn-out crisis. Some commentators have questioned if we are dipping into the past reserves too readily. And yet, there are others who downplay the use of reserves, saying that these are small amounts and we can afford to use more of our reserves by spending more through the NIRC. So let me reiterate that this government does not take any decision on the use of reserves lightly. I said in my budget statement that we expect to fund the expenditure for the remainder of this term of government without a further draw on past reserves. But the global outlook is highly uncertain, and we need to think ahead of how we can respond. So after considering the various options, if the public health and economic situation deteriorate sharply and our fiscal situation turns out to be worse than expected, the government may have to seek the President's approval for the use of past reserves to continue such economic investments so that Singaporeans can emerge stronger. The President has expressed our understanding towards the government's approach and will consider the government's specific proposals should there be a need to draw on past reserves. But if we are to draw on past reserves for the economic investments to emerge stronger, we should do our best to make good on the draw. These investments are expected to yield returns for the economy, which can give a boost to our tight fiscal situation and allow us to make good the amount drawn. As a crisis response to COVID-19, we have drawn from the past reserves an amount equivalent to about 20 years of financial surpluses. It will be a challenge to also make good this amount drawn given the magnitude of the crisis. This is a crisis fund function of the reserves. Nonetheless, we should strive to remain fiscally prudent to build back our reserves gradually.